Well, as hard as we may try, we can't seem to catch up on lost sleep. And according to a study, it turns out daytime napping is associated with an increased risk of dying in older adults. Let's bring in our medical expert, Dr. Payal Kohli, to break all this down.
Dr. Kohli, this is concerning. I love a good nap. I love a good nap. And I always thought napping or sleep was good for your health. So as we age, first and foremost, how common is it for us to nap?
Sam, it's incredibly common. In fact, some studies say up to 99% of adults, older adults, take at least one nap during the period, but probably more like 20 to 60% of people nap. Now, after the age of 70, it becomes extremely common for us to need a nap. And as you said, most of the times we've thought of sleep as restorative, right? It helps your immune system, it helps everything. But daytime napping actually turns out maybe a marker of risk, in fact, a marker of dying.
Ooh. Well, when you're saying older adults, what's like the age range you're talking about?
So we're talking over the age of 60 or 65,
okay.
Yeah. But even in younger adults, if you're needing a nap during the day, and this is where we want to think about, do you need a nap or do you want a nap? Because those are two separate things. But if you're needing a nap during the day, it can mean that potentially something's wrong with your sleep.
Wow. What are your big takeaways here?
So my big takeaways are that as a physician, I really do need to start asking people about daytime sleep habits. Because what we really do is, how do you sleep at night? Do you snore at night? Yeah. And really what's more important, or just as important, is how people are sleeping during the day. Because we know as we get older, there are many reasons that we don't sleep well. So first of all, our sleep is more fragmented. So the type of sleep that we get, deep sleep, for example, is less common as we get older. We know we have to wake up more to urinate, to pee. That happens a lot as we age, especially in postmenopausal women as well. Conditions like sleep apnea, heart failure can make us tired. And then medications that I give, like beta blockers, can make us tired. So now as a doctor, given these new findings, I'm going to start asking people, how do you sleep during the day? How long do you sleep? How often do you sleep? And is it in the morning or is it later in the afternoon? Because that matters too.
So what if you do have like a bad night's sleep, or, you know, I feel like I'm catching up on sleep. So let's say, yes, you might be looking as, okay, you're taking naps, that's a symptom of something else going on. As you're trying to rectify that, is it good to at least try to make up that sleep deficit? Because I always feel much better after my nap.
Definitely. But here's what I'll tell you. So if Sam is taking naps to recover from
just
being
on
a
the
mom,
weekend.
on the
just
weekend.
on the weekend.
Perfect.
Not during the day.
You don't want to take it in the morning time, Sam, because that's when your brain actually wants to wake
right
up.
Around 9:30.
Yep. 9:30 in the morning, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
5:30 usually.
Okay. So afternoon naps are better than morning naps, at least in the studies, in terms of the association of risk. Now, could this be because you've had a poor night's sleep, and that's why you're needing a morning nap, and so your sleep is what's causing the risk, not the morning nap itself? Possibly, but still be advised sleeping in the afternoon so it doesn't mess up the morning, doesn't mess up the night. The other thing is the duration of the nap is critical here. So how long are your naps?
I would love like an hour and a half, but usually around 35 minutes.
Okay, so you
Oh my God, you can sleep for 35 minutes?
Yeah.
That would do nothing for me. I would just feel horrible afterwards.
So then you don't want to hear what I have to say.
Oh no.
I'm going to say no longer than 30.
What?
Because that's
not a
Gotta
nap.
cut 5 minutes.
That's
I
a
can
long
do it.
blink.
This one doesn't even nap. Can you believe it?
Makes me feel worse.
You're a
That's
superwoman.
me. That's me. Alex and I are the
Okay.
same. Like, I'm disoriented. And the reason
Yes.
is because when you wake up, you have what's called sleep inertia. The inertia of the sleep is persisting into your wake cycle, and your body is neither asleep nor awake, and you're really in this sort of, transition zone. So 30 minutes is what your brain will allow to reset itself without having that sleep inertia, based on many different studies. So you want shorter naps, you want them in the afternoon. And really the thing to look out for older adults, the warning signs are, if they're napping more frequently, multiple naps during the day, if they're napping more days of the week, if the naps are in the morning, or there's been a change in their napping pattern. But it's normal as we get older to take a 20-minute, 30-minut cat nap in the afternoon. So I want us to do that when we're old ladies, but just limit it as 30 minutes.
Sam. All right, learned a lot from Dr. Kohli as always. Thank you.